Okay, hey guys, this is going to be a bit of a food tutorial. Um, as you may know, like at the recipe station, you have the ability to get these different recipes, calorie fluid, etc., etc. They all start with these main ingredients: Polifruit, Hydrobulb, Pricklers, Purplant, Serpent root, star tears, Glowcap, Sulheart. But where do they come from? My first playthrough, this seemed like a rather difficult thing to find. Sulheart and star tears. In fact, Glowcap wasn't too obvious yet, and I'll tell you why. But then you can open these up, and you can see we have sort of sub recipes. You know, for example, this requires Grubblers. You know, that's not a top level thing either, so we'll go hunt these down. And Oxallop's not obvious either. So there's three of these. There's the Grubbler, the Oxallop, and the prism herb. Alright, now we're gonna head over to a nearby cave. Okay, we've found one of the caves. And as you can see, it's opened up. And so while we're in this sort of, I don't know, I think it's 10-minute phase of the sky being like this, we can actually go down in here. Now, if we get stuck, we can just shoot that. You can see the reticule right there is turned red. So if you shoot it, then the vines go away, you climb this and get out. But Glowcaps will be in here. That one actually hasn't grown one yet for some reason, and neither has that. That's definitely interesting. Oh, here we go. So here's a Glowcap. We're down in the cave. I've noticed sometimes they don't grow back like immediately. I don't know if that's a bug in the game. Most of the time these are there. But for crystals, this is the only place to get the crystals. Once you get them, they rarely grow back. I don't know why that is. Also maybe a bug in the game. We'll check out another cave up here and we'll see. Alright, we found another cave. Just gonna drop down in here. There's a Glowcap. There's another Glowcap. And we're moving into the crystal cave. Oh, it's saving. Here we go. It's a little buggy in the game too, because if it saves while you're moving, everything stops. And as you can see, I've been in this cave before, so there's no crystals left. I really hope they fix that. Alright, let's get out of here. So for star tears, you may have noticed that they're really hard to find. Star tears actually grow on these rocks right here that get dropped from the star rupture. So if you're taking them, harvesting them, then this one won't be there to have any star tears later. So I suggest if that's what you're after, then you just leave these, and then just remember where they are, kind of come back to them. We'll come back to this one in a little bit, and we'll see what's there. So there's the star fruit. And you can see that these grow on those like igneous rocks that landed. So if you want those, don't remove them. And then you'll have a lot more. And these are hard to get. Okay, here's some more of these star tears. Again, these are only here because we left the molten rock when they landed, so keep that in mind. Alright, now Oxallop can only be attained during this 10-minute period of the Rupture. So you can see this is sort of a little bit of a pond lake thing, and here's your Oxallop. And you can grab these.
Come here.
While the water's not here.
Acquired.
This is the Purplant, I believe. No, not the Purplant. The Prickler. This is the Prickler. And you can see during the Rupture, they go away. So it's like a cactus. That's what it reminds me of. But as soon as the 10-minute period here is over, these will start growing back, and we'll get to that. Okay, this is where the Grubblers appear. I'm not gonna grab them yet because technically they shouldn't have spawned yet. I'm still in that 10-minute period. But that's what these little orange things are. And they'll be on the tree. So we'll come back to this.
Rupture status, stable. Arcadia status, stable.
Interestingly, I don't know why we're not seeing these yet, but I don't think the growing has happened. Otherwise we'd probably see pricklers here. You can see, oh, there we go. It's starting to grow. And there we are.
Come here.
Okay. Now let's see if we have any of the Grubblers. Yeah, here we go. There they are. Kind of moving around. And then let's go back to this other tree. There we go. All right. Now let's look at the Purplant. I know there's some Purplants. They mostly hang out on these little rocks, right?
Arcadia 7 has finished regenerating.
Okay, so we found the Purplants. They grow in these black rocks, right? And these are interesting too, because during the Rupture, the 10-minute period, there's also a little blue hue on the rock. So even though I removed it, it'll come back.
That's a snack.
Oh boy, here we go. Gotta be more than that.
Reloading.
Okay. Back to this. Purplant, Purplant, Purplant.
Come here.
Purplant. And you can see there's plenty of these. Alright. Now let's go get the Serpent Root. Serpent Root just is on the ground. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a potato, but it's got green stems. Here's one. Serpent Root. And these are always going to be in these little rocky areas. They're always on the ground. So if you find a basin, like, you know, a rock basin like this, you can generally find a bunch of them. So these aren't too hard to find. They're just kind of sometimes painful because they can be a little far apart. But they tend to be in groups, so you can usually get like 2, 3, 4 at a time. Okay, now for the hydrobulbs, these aren't hard to find. They're just near water, or in the water that grow out of it, sort of like the edges. But I'm showing you the best place for them. Once you clear this out. So the starter base. Is roughly right here. Okay. And then due east and a little north. You can see the big world generators right about here, so it's a little to the east of that is this area. And there'll be a big water, huge like lake. There'll be a lot of aliens over here you kind of have to clear out. I have a base, so once you've sort of cleared it up, put a base down, they stop generating aliens. So here we go. You can see we've got a bunch of them here.
Acquired.
And it just keeps going. Like, there's a ton.
That's a snack.
All this water, anywhere in this water could be just more than you could probably sit here and get 100, 200 of these things at every go. Yeah. All right, that's hydrobulbs. Polifruit is quite literally everywhere. Just throw a rock, and you probably hit a Polifruit. So we'll just run over here real quick. They're just on the ground randomly. Polifruit. And they come in bunches, and I think if you're just running around, you just find Polifruit on the ground. It's everywhere. And as far as food goes, I would recommend just eating the hydrobulbs for water and the Polifruit for calories, because when you create the food through the food station, there's not much benefit yet to making food out of these.
Nice.
Because of how cheap it is to get these, and then the cost to make the other things. That I think they need to balance it a little bit more, because, you know, I could spend 2 or 3 of these things to make some food, but the food benefit would be less than just eating them directly, you know. And I don't know if you noticed just then, but I'm over 100. I have 108. It was 108. Now it's 107, 104. If you eat and drink up to 99 or anything below 100, and then eat one more, you still get the added benefit, because the hydrobulbs are 15 and the Polifruit is 11. So if you ate 99 on food and then ate a Polifruit, you'd get 110. If you ate 99 on the fruit, on the hydrobulbs, you ate one more, you'd get 114. So that's a bit of a way to, you know, get more. Okay, we're gonna go after the infamous. We're gonna go after the infamous Sulheart. Sulheart. At first, I didn't realize this, but it's always in a sulfur field. Sulheart, sulfur, get it? And so when you're getting Sulheart, it's kind of tough because you tend to die from corrosion and it builds up. I'll show you in a second, but this is what I recommend for getting Sulheart. If you're at endgame or anything, like pick up these stems. You want your shields at maximum, like 150, right? Makes it a lot easier. If it's saving the game. You want... Stamina's fine. Stamina's great because you want to run around while you're in this field. You want to get as many of these as you can. But make sure your shields are at max as you can. I have mine at 150. My health is at 150. So here's a health limb and there's a health limb, and that gives me an extra 50 right there. And then I have a corrosion. It's a resistor limb. It's 35%. I'm using this for corrosion because you get corrosion in the sulfur fields. And that maxes you out. So I'm at 150 health, I'm at 150 shield, and I have a corrosion resistance, which allows me to sort of run around in here. And a little trick you can do is to use the rail and then use the drone. Not necessarily the rail, just pick something to build, go into build mode, and then pick your drone. And then you can kind of like zoom around and find where they are at first without ever going into the field. So here's one. Here's one. Here's a bunch over here. And here's where I'm at on the map. I'll show you where I'm at. It's... I gotta get out of build mode. So here's like 3 sulfur fields here. This is a pretty decent one. This is... again, starter base is kind of over here, due north. I mean, basically straight north here is, here's a sulfur field. Here's a sulfur field. Here's a sulfur field. Here's one. Here's one. Just any sulfur field will do. I do recommend avoiding this one, this really long stretch, because it's hard to get in and out. It's rather deep. And so even with all the limbs that I have, it's fairly easy to die. So I would just avoid that one, but here, yeah, let's just run in here. You can see
Acquired.
I tend to run around.
Come here.
And you can see it's damaging me
That's
now.
a snack.
And the corrosion's blinking red, so even after I get out of this, it's still going to be hitting me for a minute. See? So you have to give yourself some time to get out of there where it's no longer in the red. And then let your corrosion go back down. And then you can see your shield to start to build back up here. And so if you're going to make a run at it, I would just recommend that your shield is maxed out and your health is all the way up. You know, if you need to bring food or anything, or if you have the health, you know, just make sure you're topped off. Don't lose sight of that. That's how you die. So now we're good. We can go back in and sort of check out the other ones. So this one's also pretty decent. Look at this. Oh, I'm already in the gas cloud, even though I'm up here. I'm already out of it too. You can see it's still hitting me. I think Sulheart is probably the hardest one to get. Star tier, just because of the difficulty. Star tiers is the next hardest because of the scarcity. Here we go. Alright, now I gotta get out. Okay, corrosion's going down. That's all you gotta watch. It's a little tricky being in between the two of these because you can see the gas cloud sort of like right here, creeping over. And I think somewhere in here is a safe zone, but it's risky. Alright, so you can see my health is down to 100. Yeah, glowcaps are pretty good. So these are pretty abundant. You're going to have a bunch of extra glowcaps, so just eat a couple of those and you're good. Now we'll just go back in here and get the third one.
That's a snack.
here. See, I'm out of it, but it just continues to hit you. So if you're doing this, just pay attention to that, because after your shield goes down, your health starts going down. And then you have to give yourself about 5 seconds, maybe 10, before it really stops damaging you. So make your way out well before you get to 0. Okay, back to 150. Let's just get the other side of the middle. Pretty much it.
Acquired.
I mean, you can see it's still damaging me. It's pretty crazy how that works. Now, I'm just going to double check that I got most of it. I think I got most of it. Yeah, so, you know, just in this field alone, there's 23, right? 23 Sulheart, and this field's really good. The next best field, in my opinion, is this one here. I think you can get about 20 to 25 in this field. So these are comparable. So between the two of these, I mean, you can get about 50 Sulheart, roughly. And then if you really wanted to sort of increase it, you could just find another sulfur field to go to. Like I said, I would avoid this one. It does have a good amount. I don't think it has quite that many, like 20, 25. I think you could probably get about 15 out of that one. But again, given the difficulty, I would avoid it. Okay. So prism herb generally appears sort of in the middle of these little ponds. You can see it right here. And it comes in bunches, so like that's 1, 2, you can see you get like, it's 4 of these, 4, but you're only getting 2 at a time. So of the 4, there's 2.
Acquired.
There's 2. So each one of these
That's
is
a snack.
just 2. Oh, I got a 4 there. 2 4s. So occasionally you get an extra, and I think that goes for about anything. You have a chance. That thing's gearing up. Alright guys, well, that's about it for the food. At least where you get the ingredients. And then once you max it out, you can see, like, these are all hundreds. You can start, you know, making anything you want. Like, here's an example though, like, food. Where's the Polifruit? So if we take Polifruit, for example. Takes 3 Polifruit and 1 Serpent root. So Serpent root's hard enough to find. So you get, that's actually pretty good, 90 calories. But 3 Polifruit gives you 30, I think 33 calories. And then a Serpent root gives you, oh, it's a toxicity. Yeah, so maybe that one is pretty good. But that's 90 calories. That might be one of the better ones. So that's an hour of no calorie loss. So you spend 5 Polifruits and an Oxallop. That might be beneficial too. In effect, 40 calories. Okay, so this one is definitely not. Probably what we need to do is go through this list and make a tier list, like, or even a spreadsheet. What's a net positive? What's a net deficit? Because 40 calories, that's garbage. 5 Polifruit alone would give you 55 calories. Oh, but it makes 3. Let's make one. Hold on. Yeah, oh, okay, so it makes 3 of these. So that's, yeah, actually, that does work. You get 100 and... from 40 calories, you get 120. 120 calories, and that would normally be 55 only from the Polifruit, and then you get 10 toxicity from that. Do you get any toxicity from this? No. So actually, that's also a net benefit. Maybe either I was wrong or this has been rebalanced. I don't really know the answer to that. I did not realize that that created 3. That only creates 1. That heals 30, gains 20 calories. So that one spends 22. You normally a star tier heals you for 20, but you get 5 toxicity. So this heals you for 30, and you gain 20 calories and 20 toxicity. I don't think that one is worth it, because this would give you 22 calories, 20 HP, and only 5 toxicity. This gives you 20 calories, so you get less calories, you get slightly more HP, and a lot more toxicity. So you get 15 more toxicity. So this one's not great. The benefit here would be more HP, I guess. But you could just eat 2 star tiers and get 40 HP and 10 toxicity. Shoot, if you wanted to match the toxicity, you'd get 4 of these, and you'd have 80 HP for the same toxicity. You just wouldn't get any calories. So just go eat a couple of these. 2 of these and you have more. So that's definitely not worth it. That's 65 calories, but you get 2. So you get 130 calories out of 4 of these and 1 of these. So not bad. Again, this could be a tier list. I think you could probably go through each one of these and figure this out. Maybe that's worth doing. I don't know. But until then, at least you know where to get the recipes. Alright.